They finally did it. They finally released the first trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the third Sonic movie. And I just want to talk about that today. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, I'm not the biggest fan of the first two films. I think they're pretty okay. But they're not what I fully would have wanted out of Sonic movies. And also, I don't really know that much about Sonic. I have not played most of the Sonic games, so probably gonna be missing a lot in this trailer. So this is purely just someone who is interested in seeing the film and just my thoughts. So here you go. If this interests you, this is for you. So, first of all, it's really cool to see Shadow. He looks really, really, really good. We may have seen leaks or something of Shadow, but he looks really, really cool in the way he, like, teleports around and uses the fucking... Is it Chaos Control? Where he can, like, slow down time and then he can just fuck shit up real quickly. I'm doing a great job of explaining what I mean here. I think it's called Chaos Control. And the way he, like, skates instead of running, and he's got his motorbike. It all looks really, really cool. It's really cool imagery. And again, to the best of my knowledge, it's pretty game accurate, which is very, very cool, because that is the one thing I felt that the films were kind of lagging. So... yeah, it's cool to see some game-accurate representation. Eggman is back. Jim Carrey is back as Dr. Eggman. And he's a little bit more game-accurate. He's got a bit of a tum on him. He's less of the stick-thin Jim Carrey and more of the round game Eggman, which is cool. They have Eggman's dad, which is weird. I don't really know what that's about. That's really strange, actually. I don't know if that's a thing in the lore. But he's there. That's cool, I guess. I'm finding it interesting that Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles seem to be teaming up with Dr. Eggman. I think that's a cool concept. And, you know, I'm glad that he's not the villain for a third film. That I'm glad that we can kind of see Shadow being the villain. Like, I know that's how it was going to be anyway. But it's nice that Eggman still gets to play a role without being the primary antagonist. And, you know, I can kind of see how it's gonna play out. There's gonna be a lot of bickering between Sonic and Eggman, and it'll be very silly and very funny. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool that they're gonna be teaming up. And I'm interested to see how that plays out. Oh, also, this is the first time we've heard Keanu Reeves as Shadow, and it sounds really, really good. I have no real expectation for what Shadow should sound like. I've only ever heard him in, like, the Mario and Sonic games, and, like, Sonic Generations, and... He wasn't in Sonic Colors, was he? Oh, he was in Sonic Forces, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, those are the only games that I've heard Shadow's voice in, so I didn't have any particular expectations for what he was going to sound like. But I really like the way he sounds. Keanu's doing a really, really good job, in my opinion. It's very fitting for the character. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. We do still see what's he called? James Marsden in the trailer a few times. That's upsetting. That's my biggest problem with the Sonic films, is the focus on the human characters who I don't know and who I don't care about. I don't... these characters mean nothing to me. So if we could go a film where they barely appear, that would be wonderful. And I hope that that is what's happening here. We see him a couple of times, and he's like talking about how Sonic never lost who he was, and he's shouting Sonic as if he's, I don't know, there when Sonic's gonna die or some shit. But I really hope he has a minimal presence in this film. And we didn't see his wife, or any other major human character for that matter in this trailer. You know, we see like the army scientist-y people that have like discovered Shadow. But that's kind of to be expected. We see the little girl. I know that she's a significant part of Shadow's story. She was like touching the glass and trying to like see him, and then we see the facility later in the trailer being burnt down. So if I'm to believe Twitter, that little girl for sure gets shot in the fucking head. So that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting to see in an all ages film. But yeah, it's looking promising so far, which is good. I hope they stick the landing better than the first two films. If I have to sit through another half an hour section of this film where this character, who is not a Sonic character, she is a movie character, and she's at a wedding, and her husband-to-be turns out to be a spy, and everyone at the wedding's a spy, and she's heartbroken, and then they go on a mission to try and fuck the spies up, and we don't see Sonic or Tails for like half an hour of the film. If that happens again, I'm gonna walk out of the fucking cinema, okay? I won't. So, as long as we avoid that, we get a nice little Sonic film, then it should be fine. Should be fine. Wow, that really says a lot about my feelings on the first two films, where I'm excited because this one looks fine. Be better than I hope, please.